Hey guys, my name is Dean. Welcome to ManFlow Yoga. You are about to watch a full-length workout from my online members area here free on YouTube, so you can check it out and see if it's a good fit for you. I encourage you to check out some of the links in the description if you want to learn more about ManFlow Yoga, or if you want to get started with a free beginners program. I have a 7-day intro, which is free, no credit card required, and it's an awesome way to get started in just about 15 minutes per day. Be sure to subscribe to this channel. We put out tons of workouts and content every week, and I hope you enjoy this workout. Be sure to like it. Hey guys, it's Dean. Welcome to ManFlow Yoga. This is workout number 5 from the ManFlow Yoga Strength Foundations course. Today, we're going to be working on applying hip and core muscle activation to full body movements. So in the past few workouts, we've done a lot of longer holds at the beginning to improve muscle activation. This time we're going to do a little bit shorter with those holds at the beginning and then move more into the full body aspects of the movements, but making sure that you keep that muscle engagement through those full body movements. We're going to be reviewing a lot of the stuff that we've already done as well, just giving you a chance to practice that. All you're going to need for today is a block and, of course, your yoga mat. We're going to start on the ground in a side plank. So I'm going to show you a few variations of side plank so you can choose the one that's right for you. Start with the most basic one, and then we'll build our way up from there. So side plank, you're going to have your forearm down, your elbow right under your shoulder, and you're going to have your knee down, your right knee down, and your left foot down. And this is step number 1, using your right knee on the ground to help support you. And we want to make sure that you're stacking your shoulders, so make sure that your chest isn't facing down, but that you're facing straight out to the side with your torso, that you're lifting your hips, so you do feel your right oblique, the side of your body engaging, and extending that arm up. So I've got a nice straight line from my right elbow all the way up through my left hand. Level 2, you're going to rest on the outside of your right foot, stack your left foot on top of the right foot, and then press into the outer edge of your right foot and lift your hips. We still have the shoulders stacked above the right elbow, so my torso is still facing straight out to the side. I've just got a little bit more intensity now. I'm going to hold this for 20 seconds here, so lifting your hips up, extending that hand high, and again, if you need to take the knee down, you can do that. And if you want to make this a little more difficult, lift your left leg off your right leg. Last 10 seconds here, lift your hips as high as you can. Keep your torso facing out. If you're having issues balancing, you can look straight ahead or maybe at the ground, but you want to build to looking up at your left hand. And then relax and switch sides. So side plank, really good for your core, for your hips, and also a little bit of upper body work. Again, forearm is going to be perpendicular with the side of the mat. Stack your shoulder, your left shoulder on top of your left elbow. Start with your left knee down. Bring your right arm up. Straight line from the left elbow to the right hand extended. And lift your hips. Again, this is level 1. If you feel like you've got a little bit of challenge staying here and being stable here, might not need to go on. You want to increase the difficulty. You're going to rest on the outside of your left foot. Drive into the mat with the outside of your left foot and lift your hips toward the ceiling. Extend your right arm up, lift your torso as well. Again, make sure that you're keeping your shoulders stacked above your elbow. You might have a tendency to lean, bring your right shoulder kind of down toward the ground and face your chest down. Make sure that the torso stays facing straight out to the side. Lift your hips a little bit higher. And again, about 20 seconds here. You're going to feel a lot going on in the outer left hip and in your obliques on your left side. Try to keep your hips lifted here. And again, stay tall through this side plank. Last 10 seconds, if you want, lift your right leg up. Now we're going to feel a bit on the outer right hip as well. And a lot more pressure on the left hip to hold here. Last 5 seconds, stay tall. 3, 2, 1, and then release. All right, nicely done. We're going to move to boat pose now. So boat, we're going to start with your feet about 1.5 feet, maybe 2 feet in front of your hips, sitting up nice and tall. Pull your ribs up away from your hips. Again, stay really tall here
and make your back as flat as possible. So pretend that someone put a ruler behind your back or a yardstick behind your back. Keep the back flat. Lightly grip onto your knees here, lift your chest up and aim your sternum at the ceiling. Bring your neck toward the back, relax your chin toward your throat, and again, lift your ribs up here. Keep the abs tight. You're not arching your back here, you're keeping the ribs neutral, so drawn in a little bit, and definitely not rounding your back. So make sure that your chest isn't caving in, but again, keeping that neutral. You're also going to feel a lot going on in the hip flexors here, so the fronts of your thighs connected to your waist. And again, just lightly gripping your knees here. You can bring your feet a little bit closer together if you want to engage the inner thighs a little bit more. So pretend like you're holding a block between your legs. To increase the difficulty, you're going to lift up a little bit more and lean back a little bit more. And then if you're ready for the next variation here, you're going to bring your arms straight out in front of you, like so, and hold this. Again, using your thighs here to help hold you up, not just relying on the abs, but thinking of lifting the knees away from the ground a little bit. So just a little bit of a lift to engage your hip flexors and add some stability with your legs. And then level 3, at least for today, bring your shins to be parallel to the ground. So lift your shins away from the ground. Keep the weight in your hip flexors. So it's a bit of a balance here. And you're going to feel a lot of work in your hip flexors, again, to help hold you up here. Keep your sternum aiming up. Woo! This is getting tough. Maybe the feet only come a couple inches away from the ground. I guess my legs are tired today. They're not cooperating. 10 more seconds. Just working on getting that activation through the hips, staying as tall as you can through your core. 3, 2, 1, and relax. All right, nicely done. Take it down onto your back. Let's do a little bit of twisting work, so some core strength and some spinal mobility. Bring your arms straight out to the sides, and we're going to work on merging your breath with your movement here and using your abs to help with the twist. Inhale your legs out to the right. Exhale, use your core, squeeze your legs back toward the middle. Inhale left. Exhale, squeeze your core, legs back to the middle. And again, toward the right. And keep up this pace, or maybe make your own pace. I recommend 3 or 4 seconds going to the outside, and then 3 or 4 seconds coming back to the inside. So what we're focusing on here is always slow, controlled movement and making sure that you're using your abs. So squeezing your abs to bring it back to the middle, using your core strength to twist and not just pushing into the ground with your arms. And this is going to help when we do some twists later on in this workout. That's another focus of this workout today. Again, going to feel this in the abs. Might feel some release through the lower back. Maybe some popping at first in the lower back as your spine opens up. And let's go ahead and do one more to the left. Exhaling back to the middle. And then releasing down. All right, we're going to go up and do a quick bridge just to get your hips active and open up the hips a little bit. So heels in toward your butt. Make sure that your toes are facing straight forward. Insides of your feet parallel to one another. Drive down through your toes and your heels and lift your hips. Abs stay tight. Shouldn't feel any pain in your back. And you can bring your arms along your sides to rest. Make sure the ribs stay drawn in so you're not splaying open your chest unnecessarily, but keeping the ribs drawn in, trying to make that straight line from your knees to your shoulders. Shouldn't have any pressure in the neck here or in the shoulders. Keep the chin relaxed toward the throat. Keep the weight in your shoulders, not in your neck. Drive your hips up a little bit more, and then extend your right leg forward. Just about 3 breaths here, just warming up your glutes, just making sure those are turned on. And again, with the hips here, you want to squeeze your left hip in and then externally rotate it so the top of the left thigh faces slightly out. That's going to get you a better glute engagement. One more breath here. And then switch sides. Plant your right foot, bring the left leg out. And again, right hip squeezes in and up. Slight external rotation to engage your right glute. and keep driving down through the heel and the toes. So pressing down through your feet is a really good way to engage not just your core, but also your glutes. So keep driving down through the heels, and that will apply to any movement. So when we're doing a lunge or we're doing a squat and you feel like you don't have great activation through the glutes, just drive down through the heels a little bit more. Last breath. And then slowly release your feet, or plant the feet, release your hips down. All right, we're gonna do some ab work to counter that. So staying on the ground, leg levers, alternating legs. So bring your right leg straight up in the air, point your left leg straight out. Arms can be along your sides. If you want, maybe put them behind the neck, whichever is more comfortable. And we're just gonna very slowly go back and forth. So now the left leg is up, right leg is forward. Don't ever let the leg touch the ground. You're just hovering here. And you want to focus on using your core here. You're going to feel some stretching through the hamstrings. If your hamstrings are too tight for this, you can bend your knees as they start to get up near the ceiling, or pointed at the ceiling. So you can bend your knees, that's fine. Keep it focused on the core. And again, really slow, controlled movements here. Just working back and forth for core stability, and also working your hip flexors here. Do about 15 more seconds. Keep your abs tight. You shouldn't feel any pain in the back. If you do, try to focus on the abs a little bit more. And if you need to, you might want to avoid straightening your legs all the way. If you can, try straightening them, but if there's pain, bend the knees. Last little bit. 5 seconds. And then relax, bring your knees in, a little roll from side to side, and we're gonna move up and flip over into a prone position for some plank. All right, so that concludes the warm-up. Now we've got, everything is nice and active, all the muscles are engaged, we've got blood flowing everywhere. Time for some full body movements. Plank, hands about shoulder width, index fingers forward, thumbs facing in, press down into the ground, screw your hands out, and then tuck the toes, bring it into plank. Press the top of your head forward, press your heels back, look slightly forward. So don't look straight down, look slightly forward. We're gonna actually strengthen the neck a bit as we do this. Keep your belly button up, make sure that your hips aren't sagging. You want a straight line from your heels to your head. For more of a challenge, squeeze your hands toward your feet back toward your hands. And this is not only a great core strengthening exercise, it's also a very good exercise for warm-up to activate your core, to turn on your upper body. Last 10 seconds here. Keep squeezing your hands toward your feet. Try to keep that straight line. Looking slightly forward. 5, 3, 2, 1, bring the knees down, slowly release all the way down onto your chest. Moving into baby cobra. Reach your legs back as far as you can. Internally rotate the thighs, knees face down. Squeeze your toes together. Now press the tops of your feet into the ground. Press your pubic bone into the floor and then lightly lift your chest using your hips and your core strength. Squeeze your elbows back toward your hips and in toward your sides. Make sure that you're lifting with both sides, not lifting to one side or the other. So you should feel the muscles in your lower back working equally on the right and the left sides. Push the top of your head away from your body. Really squeeze the thighs. Push the feet down for 10 seconds. Again, really push the feet down. That's going to make the difference here. 5 more seconds. Get long. 3, 2, 1, and release. All right, take it back into a child's pose, active child's pose. So squeeze your thighs, push your butt toward your heels, squeeze your butt, walk your arms out in front of you, just like you would for a down dog, even though we haven't covered down dog in this course yet. But arms are outstretched, elbows are off the ground, pushing your hands into the ground, again, like you would for a plank, rather. And then squeezing your arms toward one another. Try to make your back flat. Draw the ribs in, so avoid arching your back here. And then you're going to get a nice stretch in your shoulders with the ribs drawn in, keeping your chest neutral. 10 more seconds here. Again, staying active. So treat this like a core exercise. Keep your arms active, keep your abs active, keep the glutes, keep your legs and thighs active.
All right, and then bring it up into a tabletop. We're gonna do some bird dog. Bird dog is very similar to a plank, but it helps you point out imbalances in your core. Really good for core stabilization. So we're gonna start with your hands under your shoulders, your knees under your hips. Squeeze your knees toward one another like you're holding a block between your thighs. Extend your left arm forward without moving anything else. So very slowly reach your left arm forward. Now, same thing with your right leg, but don't change anything. So very lightly bring your right leg straight back. Make sure nothing in your core changes. Your right arm and your left leg stay stable. Your lower back here should be totally flat. So if you look at yourself and you notice that your back is arching, you moved into bird dog too quickly, you did it incorrectly. So you want to make sure that your back is flat. You can think lifting your belly button toward your lower back here. That will help. And then extend your arm and extend your leg. So left arm reaches forward, right heel drives back. And then squeeze your right hand and your left knee toward one another as well. Stay nice and long. 15 more seconds. Again, very similar to what you feel in a plank, except we're just on one hand and one knee. Stay long, keep that belly button up, and then release down. All right, I'm actually going to tuck my shirt in so you guys can see what's going on with my abs here. So you should notice that I'm not letting my belly drop, and I'm keeping my abs, or keeping my back straight. All right, so back to a tabletop, and now again, keeping this good tabletop, just like you would a plank, right? So belly button's already up, knees under the shoulders, squeeze your knees toward one another to engage your inner thighs. Make sure that your shoulders are in a good position, so right under, or right above the hands. Push your hands down, screw your hands out like you're opening that jar. Make sure the webbing of your fingers is between your hands, so that area where your fingers meet your palms, make sure the webbing of your fingers is pressing down. And then again, very slowly, without changing your body at all, bring your right arm straight forward and up. And without moving your body at all, bring your left leg straight back. Drive the heel back. Keep the belly button up. So if you look at me now, you should see that I'm pretty stable right through, I'm very stable through my core, but my core is also neutral here, right? I'm not splaying open my chest. My lower back is flat. And you're going to feel this in your abs. If you're feeling this in your lower back, you're doing it incorrectly. Your back is arched. So make sure that you're keeping keeping the lower back neutral, keeping your belly button lifting up toward your lower back to keep the abs in the proper position. Right arm reaches forward, left heel presses back. Squeeze your left hand toward your right knee. Last 10 seconds. Still breathing slow and controlled, in and out of the nose. Last breath. And release your hand, release the knee. So if you set down your hand and your knee after that, and you notice that your body shifts significantly, that means that you probably adjusted mid-bird dog and you lost the proper technique. So something to remember for bird dog, very similar to a plank, except we've got one knee down and one hand down, instead of both hands and both feet down. All right, one more tabletop exercise. We're gonna do some donkey kicks. So we did those, we did these, I think a couple days ago with on the wall. Now we're doing them in a tabletop position. So donkey kick, let's go left leg first. You're gonna bring your left heel straight back, squeeze your heel in toward your butt, and then drive your leg up and over to the right. Pressing your heel up, 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 squeezing your butt as much as you can for 5 seconds. I find it also helps to reach your toes toward your shin or point your toes. One or the other is fine. Just make sure you're keeping your toes active, and then slowly releasing down. Again, press the left leg back, squeeze the heel in, drive up and over. 5 second squeeze. 4, heel up and over, up, 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 up. 3,
2, 1, and then release. One more. Leg back, heel in, drive up, 5 seconds. Heel up, 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 press, press, press as high as you can. Lift, lift, lift. 3, 2, 1, and then release. All right, other side. Right leg goes back. Squeeze your heel in toward your butt. Drive your heel up as high as you can. And once you can't get it any higher, press up and over toward the left. Squeeze the heel in. Drive up. Again, keep your foot active, so toes either reach back toward the shin or drive up. 3, 2, 1, release. So go ahead and relax between reps, release it, and then teach it to engage again. Right leg back, heel in, drive up. So I like doing the breaks between because that disengages, and then you have to practice re-engaging the muscle. You want to be able to do this on command. So that's why doing reps helps. 3 seconds. As much as you can, squeeze your butt. 3, 2, 1, release. And then we've got one more. Right leg back, heel in, drive up, squeeze your heel in, drive up and over now. So hamstring and glute engaged. 3 seconds, as hard as you can. 3, 2, and 1, and then release. All right, let's go ahead and stand up. Take it into a mountain pose. Go ahead and grab a block. Place that between your thighs. Let's just take 3 deep breaths in mountain pose. So take about 30 seconds here. Press down through the toes, internal rotation to the thighs. Perfect posture, hips above the ankles, palms facing forward. Breathe. Exhaling to relax your shoulders, maintaining height. Inhaling to get taller. Keep pushing down through the feet. Last breath. All right, inhale, arms come up overhead. Exhale, twist toward the left. Right hand comes forward, left hand reaches back. Look toward the left. Keep your hips squared forward. Inhale to get taller. Exhale, twist deeper. Inhale back to the middle, arms up. Exhale, twist to the right. Left hand forward, right hand back. Look to the right. Keep the hips squared forward. Inhale, get tall. Exhale, twist deeper. Inhale, back up. Back to the middle. Exhale, other side, left. Hands extend in opposite direction. Inhale, get tall. Push down to the feet. Exhale, twist deeper. Squeeze your core to twist more. Back to the middle, arms up. Exhale and twist. 2 breaths here. Get tall with the inhale. Twist deeper with the exhale. Using your abs to twist, using the core. One more each side, arms back up. To the left. Again, stay really tall. As you inhale, get even taller. As you exhale, squeeze your abs and twist, keeping the hips facing forward. Back up. Last one, last side. And twist. Reach in opposite directions. Squeeze your thighs. Exhale, twist as deep as you can, keeping good form. Back up. Lift your arms back to the middle, and then release your hands. All right, nice job. Now we're going to practice hip hinge, a squat hold, and we're going to practice forward fold. These are 2 essential movements in yoga, and we've got your body nice and warm, core is active, thighs, glutes, everything that you need is doing what it's supposed to do. If you need it, put the block on the ground, and if you actually have 2 blocks, I'm going to have you put a block between your thighs to practice proper inner thigh engagement and core engagement with these exercises. So block on the ground if you need it, if you can't touch the ground with straight legs and proper form in a forward fold. All right, so hip hinge, squat hold, knees slightly bend, bring your butt to the back, keep squeezing the block between your thighs, bring your arms out in front of you. Weight is going to be in the hips here. This is very similar to the bottom part of a deadlift. So if you lift weights often, right, this is very similar to what we do in a deadlift. Hinging at the hips, building tension in the hamstrings and the glutes, squeezing your thighs together, keeping your back flat. Make sure that you're not arching or rounding your back. So it helps to look at a mirror when you're doing yoga, or even take a video of yourself and watch it later. All right, now to a forward fold. So the tops of the thighs are engaged, abs are engaged. Keep your body long. Bring your hands to the block. Start to lift your hips, feeling the stretch to the hamstrings. Squeeze the thighs together. Engage your quadriceps. And then fold just like you're doing a crunch using your abs. That block might start to get in the way, so either move it back or maybe just take it out altogether if you've noticed that it's touching your chest in the forward fold. Again, fronts of the thighs squeezing toward the abs, abs squeezing back toward the thighs. You should feel stretching here through your hamstrings, and you shouldn't feel any stretching or any discomfort in the lower back. A release, yes, but stretching, no. All right, then we're going to go back to a squat hold. So squeeze the thighs together, bend the knees just a little bit, drop your hips down, bring your arms out in front of you. And again, the weight here should be in your hips. So if you notice that the weight is in the thighs, you're probably bringing the thighs too far forward. So weight in the hips, squeeze your inner thighs toward one another. Hold here for about 10 seconds. We're just going to kind of go back and forth with this, practicing proper hip engagement with the hip hinge and then also with the fold. When you're ready, next exhale is folding, squeezing your chest toward your thighs, straightening the legs a little bit, squeezing the fronts of the thighs, and again, keeping the abs really tight here. And I'm keeping my body long, okay? So if you notice that your lower back is kind of poking up toward the ceiling and you're relaxing your abs, you're going to have a very inactive forward fold. So you want to make sure that the chest, the torso stays long, the abs stay engaged, and it's really helpful to bend your knees. So even when I do a forward fold, I'm usually bending my knees. All right, and then back to the squat hold. So sit back down, squeeze the block together, weight in your hips and in your glutes, butt back, arms out in front, abs tight. You're also going to feel this in your abs. Next, exhale, fold. Squeeze the block. Squeeze your thighs. Tighten your abs. Tuck your chin to look behind you. Maybe bending your knees a lot. You might initially want to think chest to thigh contact, even if you have to bend your knees a lot to do that. And then pulling your belly button as far away from your waist or as far away from your hip crease as possible to make sure you're keeping the length. And again, feeling stretching to the backs of the thighs, the backs of the legs, and keeping tight through the abs and the thighs. All right, go ahead and sit back down to the squat hold, and then stand all the way back up. All right, nicely done. Now we're going to go to a low lunge and practice twisting in a lunge. So right leg is forward, left leg is back. Slowly release that left knee all the way to the ground, keeping the weight in the right leg. We practiced that a lot in the last few lessons, so make sure you're doing that. Again, you should be able to kind of lift your left knee up at any point and still maintain the technique that you have right now. So most of the weight, almost all of the weight, is in your right leg, not resting the weight on your left knee. Pull your ribs up away from your hips, so get really tall in this low lunge. You're going to feel a stretch to the front of the left hip, feeling lots of engagement through the right thigh. From here, breathe in, lift a little bit taller, and then set your left hand on the outside of your right knee. Keep your right hand on your right hip. Open up to face toward the right. So we're starting to twist here. As you inhale, lift. As you exhale, twist a little bit more. Keeping good form through the lunge. Inhale, lift. Exhale, twist a little bit more. So depending on your mobility, you might not get torso facing out all the way just yet, but as you hold this pose and as you breathe, you will get deeper into the twist. If you're feeling comfortable here now, pull your ribs up, make sure you're really nice and tall here. Extend your right arm toward the back and extend your left arm forward. So we're combining a low lunge with a standing twist for a low lunge twist. As you inhale, lift taller. As you exhale, squeeze your abs to twist more. One more breath here, last breath. Inhale back to the middle. Stand up all the way. Nice. We're going to do a forward fold here. So bend the knees, hinge at your hips, squeeze your chest toward your thighs, squeeze your thighs back toward the chest, keep the abs tight, squeeze the thighs together, tuck your chin, look behind you. All right, sit back down to a squat hold, bring your arms out in front of you, weights in the hips, knees stay back behind the toes. Just one breath here. And stand up all the way. All right, other side. Left leg is forward. Step your right leg back. Slowly release your right knee toward the ground. Keep the weight in the left hip. You want to think left hip below the right hip. So squeeze your right hip up, press your left hip down. Left hip pressing toward the left heel. Pick your ribs up with the inhale. Stay nice and tall. As you exhale, bring your right hand across your body to the outside of your left knee. Left hand to the left hip, roll back the left shoulder. Inhale to get tall. Exhale to twist more. Inhale, get tall. Exhale, twist more. One more breath supported here. Again, stay up nice and tall. Try to keep that weight in the left leg, maybe relaxing a little bit into the right knee, but not that much. And now extend your left arm back. Extend your right arm forward. If you need a padding, if your knee feels sensitive here, put a washcloth under your knee. Maybe roll up your mat, put it under your knee, get a little extra support there. As you inhale, lengthen. As you exhale, twist deeper. Remember, using your core strength to twist here. So the benefit of having your arms extended like this is I can't grab onto my left knee and twist deeper just by pressing my hand to my knee. I have to use active mobility. I have to use my muscles. I have to use my core to twist here. I'm not using any external support. One more breath. Inhale back to the middle. Stand back up. And practice a forward fold one more time. So bending the knees a little bit, hinging at the hips, forward folding, squeezing your chest toward your thighs. Keeping the abs really tight, just like you would for a crunch or another ab exercise. Tucking your chin, looking back behind you. And again, you can bend your knees as much as possible here. So if you can't keep your back flat when you're doing a forward fold, you need to bend your knees. It also helps to use a block. So maybe using a block a few inches in front of your feet, like this. And you want to have the block a few inches in front of your feet, not directly between your feet, because then your hips are going to go toward the back. And we actually want to have your hips as far forward as possible, so as close to above your heels as possible, without falling over. And that's actually going to help you get better core engagement in a forward fold by keeping your hips forward. All right, sit down to the squat hold. This is our final exercise. Put the weight in your hips. You're going to feel this in your glutes and your hamstrings. If you want to challenge yourself, maybe sit down so your hips are level with your knees. Bring your arms out in front of you. Keep your abs drawn in tight. Your back should be flat. And stand up all the way. All right, that's it. That's lesson 5 of the Manful Yoga Strength Foundations course. Today, we focused on applying proper core and hip engagement to full body exercises. So basically full body quintessential / essential poses found in yoga, like the forward fold, like a low lunge twist, and a squat hold. So applying proper core engagement to twist, applying proper hip engagement to full body exercises, with the result, of course, increasing your overall strength and increasing your active range of motion. So I'll see you guys in the next workout for lesson number 6 of the Manful Yoga Strength Foundations course. Nice work today. Have a good one. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that workout. Hope you learned something new. Try to make these workouts very helpful in terms of technique, in terms of learning how to properly engage muscles and build strength with yoga. If you're looking for more workouts, I encourage you to check out the rest of the videos on this YouTube channel. I'm pretty sure I have over 1,000. And if you want more, if you're looking for an organized program to get started,
I highly recommend checking out the Manflow Yoga members area. It's just $1 to get started with a 7-day trial. So thanks for watching. I hope you subscribe if you haven't already. Be sure to like this video if you liked any of it. It's really helpful, and I hope to see you on future videos.